I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
Tonight's presentation of the Silver Crown Cup on the National Racing Network is presented by the Bizzle Foundation for Bratwurst Excellence, the Scott Nicky Parking Academy, the iRacing Forums Potatoes Club of New Mexico, and viewers like you. Thank you. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back here to another night of iRacing action here on the National Racing Network. Looks like things didn't totally kick off here. There we go. What's going on, everybody? My name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us here tonight as we get ready for another night of Silver Crown Cup action coming to you from Rockingham Speedway and Entertainment Complex, The Rock, Rockingham, North Carolina. As always, my name is Chris Graham. I believe I will be flying solo tonight for the broadcast. Actually, maybe not. Let's see. We're gonna get a co-host up here into the booth here in just a moment. But tell you first a little bit about this racetrack. 1.017 miles, 1.636 kilometers. Little bit difference in the banking at each end of the racetrack. Rusty Wallace owns the track record here at 23.167 seconds. Set back all the way in February of the year 2000 in a NASCAR Cup Series Ford Taurus. And now joined in the booth by Mr. Ben Carswell. What's going on, brother?
Oh, you know, just having the power roulette over here in Virginia, and I don't get to race, but I get to announce, so here we are.
We can hear the empty beer cans rattling around behind you. That is absolutely fantastic. Single split here tonight, 22 cars, and judging by what we saw in practice, this place is exceedingly difficult to get a crown around.
Chris, it's bumpy as heck. And trying to get on power when you're losing grip over the bumps, it's so difficult. When I was running the practice laps here, helping James test for the Team Watson setups, it took me probably 30 minutes to get going and to really be able to get a comfortable pace around here. This is not one of those tracks you can rock up to like Kentucky or even in Nashville Super Speedway and kind of just figure it out in 10 laps. This is going to take some work.
Yeah, actually, in the early discussions, as Brandon Buckberger sets his second lap, he was quick time. Now going to beat Tracy Petter at the top of the boards, 21.082. This place described as being similar in character to Winchester Speedway. In these cars and the sprints, which I think is pretty cool, as Larry Pace goes new quick time, 21.012. James Watson, lap number 2, going to be good enough for fourth quick on the board. DL Lemon finishing up his run. Let's pick up Mitch Drevnovsky in the number 2. First lap only good for 13th quick for Drevnovsky. Lap number 2 up on the board will move him up to the 7th position, 21.268 seconds. Now picking up Josh Batista. Good looking race car there. That's a little Christopher Bell inspired Ream paint scheme on the number 20. I like the spec map work on that one too. It sounds like I've been drinking all day. I really haven't.
Yeah. Thought I was bad with the beer cans.
No beer cans. Only some freshly brewed sweet tea. Thank you, sweetheart. Josh Batista, lap number 1, good for 12th quick, 21.499. As Thomas Lewandowski heads up to 8th quick. Batista, even faster, up to 4th quick, 21.180 second. Lap number 2 for Thomas Lewandowski. First lap, 21.339. Rocking the Team Watson Racing Setups colors on the number 5 here tonight. Over the line, Lewandowski goes third quick, 21.082. Identical lap time to Tracy Penner, who was second quick. AJ Camargo has turned both of his laps, neither of which is going to score. Now picking up the 19 of Steve Costley. He will come around to see the green flag and start lap number 1 with 1:40 to go in qualifications. Looks like Seven Crawford, Stephen Protzman, Robert Reynolds, and Richard Malagani will not get a lap in here. They still have a little bit of time to get out onto the racetrack. But I tell you what, Ben, sometimes in a track you might be unsure of, a crowd you're unsure of, sometimes you're better off to just stay at the back and ride it out for a little bit.
Yeah, there's going to be some mistakes. And I know this is a series that goes green a lot, but I don't see us going green tonight. I'd be shocked.
Let's see what lap number 2 will look like for Costley. A little bit high there through turns 3 and 4. Keeps it up on the racing surface to complete his qualification run. Lap number 2 will stay 16th quick. Just a tick slower, actually, that time by 21.800 seconds. As we are down to 45 seconds remaining in qualifications and nobody on the racetrack, which means your starting lineup will be set for tonight's 80-lap feature event here at Rockingham. That's going to be tough because even some of these guys that we're running in practice starting at about 7:30 or so, I don't know that any of them got 80 laps in that session.
80 laps around here is a workout. It is bumpy. You got to keep wheeling it almost the whole track, and it's trying to kill you most of the way down the straightaway, on the front straightaway, and you only get a couple seconds down the back stretch to relax. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, not much time to breathe around here, that is for sure. As a reminder to everybody, my name is Chris Graham, joined in the booth by the money man, Mr. Ben Carswell. We will not get into why we're calling him that on the air tonight, but Ben having a pretty good night for himself here. Or I guess, well, I'll say a pretty good day yesterday. Thank you also to Connor Baldwin for absolutely fantastic work once again, putting the cameras up here for us. We truly appreciate that. Let's take a look and see. There we go. We got the grid cameras ready to go. Let's take a look and show you our starting lineup here as we get ready to roll in the iRacing Silver Crown Cup. Let's see. Got to refresh the paint schemes here first. There we go.
Oh, poor Larry Pace.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, Larry. Didn't mean to put those colors on you. He will start on the pole tonight with a lap time of 21.012 seconds, lining up alongside the Hawk Junior Chassis Enders Performance number 3 of Tracy Penner. Row number 2 will have the Team Watson Racing Setups Martin Sports National Racing Network number 5 of Thomas Lewandowski, alongside the NRN Driven to Save Lives Special, piloted by Brandon Buckberger. Row 3 will see that spectacular number 20 of Josh Batista. That is a great looking race car. Alongside of, well, a great livery concept, if we could change the colors a little bit. The Team Watson Racing Setups Martin Sports Refined Esports number 7 of James Watson. Row 4, the Street Side Customs number 4 of Derek Love. I got it right once for you this season, D-Love. Don't expect it to happen next week. Lighting up alongside the Race Day CT, T. Watson Racing Setups, ZAS Designs, number 8 of Zach Scott Nicky. Mitch Drevnovsky in the Budweiser, Drevnovsky Construction, number 9. Lining up inside of row number 5, alongside of the Bitcoin, number 13 of DL Lemon. Kenneth Carell in the Refined Motorsports, number 9, lines up inside of row number 6, alongside the Meat Fine, Team Watson Racing Setups, number 12 of Zach Evans. Row 7, Richard Swavely alongside of Vic Aldrich's Team Watson Racing Setups, number 98. The Spotify, number 15 of Joe Gauthier alongside the Amico, kind of a throwback there for Steve Costley as the field making their way off of pit lane. Josh Young lining up alongside of the W number 14 of Richard Malagani. That will be row number 9. Row 10 tonight will have Nieje Camargo alongside the Bullseye Trucking Reynolds Construction number 18 of Robert Reynolds. Final row, row number 11, the 20 of Seven Crawford alongside of the 21 of Steven Protzman. Neither one of those cars getting out onto the grid onto the racetrack, I should say, for qualifying. His formation lap is just about complete, and we are getting set to go here at the Rock, a place that they've shot movies, TV shows, even a Bollywood flick here at the Rock. Green flag goes in the air. We are underway, and it's a good start for Larry Pace, heading off down towards turn number 1. Side-by-side battle just back behind Thomas Lewandowski, Brandon Buckberger. They will settle things out as Buckberger going to fall back to the 4th position. That's where he qualified very quickly. Lap number 1 almost in the books. Looks like Zach Scott Nicky running alongside of Kenneth Gurrell. 1 lap in the books, and Larry Pace will be the leader.
Gurrell was very strong last week at Stafford. I had a tough time getting around him, so he's one to watch this week.
It's interesting. Last week at Stafford, it sounded like there was a whole bunch of cautions and a whole bunch of problems towards the back of the pack. You wonder if we could possibly see something similar here this week. Single split, some fairly low I ratings in the field as well. Now, I rating is not indicative of talent and ability level. Look at me. But you're still talking about sometimes you get guys with, a lower A license and a lower I rating and kind of going, well, maybe this is one we got to keep an eye on.
Well, I think it is indicative of experience here. If you run this series exclusively, you're going to pick up I rating pretty quick. And, most of the guys who've been running this series for a while, they're up 3-4K. And, you've seen Scott Nicky's picked up about 1,000 I ratings since he started running these. I mean, you jump quick, so it indicates a little bit of a lack of experience, and that's what's dangerous. These guys, Buckberger, Petter, Lewandowski, these guys have got a ton of experience in these kinds of cars, and they're going to catch some of these lap cars pretty quick. See, Pete, 20th position, they're already 27 seconds behind. It's not that long of a lap.
No, they're not that long of laps, and they are going to catch lap traffic very, very quickly as Brandon Buckberger owns the fastest lap of the race. Peek inside by Lewandowski on Larry Pace, the battle for the race lead. He's going to get that pass completed. Wow, Pace really slid up the racetrack. Oh, buddy, 3 wide towards turn 1.
I don't know if I want to go 3 wide here, but ooh, you can kind of make that top work, but that bottom line, you really want to paint the yellow line here and really get the best run through the corner. I mean, the top line, you can get the run, but it's so hard to get the car turned through the entry in the middle of the corner. You got to get down there and rotate it.
3 wide's the kind of move you only pull off after about a half a 30 rack of Busch lattes or something.
Or on lap 80, not 8.
Yeah, I was going to say, yes, or very late in the races. We've got a little bit of smoke. Looks like Seven Crawford may have had an issue there. His lap 6 leaders, lap 7, already up here to lap number 9 for the race leaders. Looks like Crawford on pit lane and likely out of this race early.
Yeah, this is going to punish those inexperienced drivers. You see Lewandowski getting a little bit squirrely there. Whoa!
Wow!
What a good save by Lewandowski.
Pucker factor.
That's going to put Petter to the lead, too.
Absolute pucker factor Zulu for Thomas Lewandowski. And this is something I think it was Zach Scott Nicky was talking about during the practice. This place needs a repave. And everybody else is going, no, don't repave it, don't repave it. But you're talking about this place is bumpy, especially off the exit of turn 4. It can be a mess trying to keep that car in a straight line.
Oh, man, you can't. You can't keep it in a straight line. If you want to get the best run off, you're going to have to slide it out the corner. You see Lewandowski really struggling now. He's losing another spot to Buckberger. And it looks like Derek Love there is looking inside on him. I don't know if he maybe might have scorched the rear tires there. He's letting them cool down a little bit. The tire wear is so high here. The tire temps get jacked way up. You got to keep good care of those tires.
Yeah, I think it was we'll call it a data issue early on here in the practice session. But James Watson reported a tire temperature, a center of the right front temperature, over 680 degrees. Not realistic whatsoever. I'm pretty sure you would be melting the asphalt underneath of those tires at that temperature. But it goes to show that you're going to chew up right fronts here. And I think that there's two big things that are going to come into play. Who conserves their tires and who's the best at working the weight jacker in this thing. Little left click here, lefty loosey, righty tighty. You're trying to loosen this car up every little bit, handful of laps. Another click on that weight jacker.
Yeah, you're going to have to really use the tools and adjust as you go, because your tires, the fuel load, when you have these tracks where you're coming on and off throttle, you got to be constantly adjusting every couple of laps to really get the best out of the car. And it's going to take a experience, it's going to take focus, and it's going to take knowing what to do. And you see they're reeling Petter in. I think Petter's probably pacing himself a little bit. Just run out there and burn those tires up. Caution comes out, you're just a sitting duck.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a key here is, do you burn this stuff up here early? And we've seen this out of Tracy Petter. He has disappeared at the front of the field. And then he's coming back to everybody the later in the race we go. This time, he's not checking off into the distance. Maybe a little bit of tire management going on here from Tracy Petter tonight.
That and, man, Pace and Buckberger fast. Brandon Buckberger, he might have the worst luck of anybody I've ever seen. I mean, he runs well every week, and something happens that is just out of his control. Last week at Stafford, we had a car just completely right hook on the straightaway. Just no fault of that car, no fault of Buckberger's. He was out of the race. Just a freak accident. It's something like that every other week with him. So it is good to see him up on the podium. It was a look inside by Pace.
Pace wants the race lead. He's going to bring Buckberger with him. 2 for 1. That's a blue light special.
Petter gonna look back.
Oh. Great crossover by Petter off of 4.
That is a slick move.
That's almost
to get that run out of 4s.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say that it's actually almost like Petter set the move up by, you're not letting Buckberger through, but knowing that Buckberger's going to have to kind of pinch the car a little bit to keep it off the wall, you're setting yourself up to maximize the entry speed into turn 1, and that's exactly what we saw there.
Yeah. That's a knowledge. Larry Pace he runs crowns occasionally. We don't see him here every race, but he's got a ton of oval experience here on iRacing. I'm fairly sure he's got a few overall ARCA championships, and ARCA likes to come here to Rockingham, so he knows this track pretty well.
Let's not sell this guy short here. A 78-48 iRating. We talk about iRating not always being indicative of talent. When you start crossing and approaching 8,000 for the iRating, yeah, you're talking about skill. You have to compete against the best in the world to get your iRating up that high.
Yeah, and a lot, too. You got to be good a lot. And it shows you we're 23 laps in on a 21-second lap, and there's your first lap car right there, the 21 approximate. I mean, that's the skill gap right there. And not necessarily even the skill gap, the experience gap, the learned skill gap.
Yeah, and big contact to the outside wall. That's going to be Tracy Petter. Big time damage on the right front of the number 3 machine.
That's a big,
Man, how's that for a set of huevos, man? Bounce the car, you're airborne off it too, and you're just going to keep the foot in it and go.
Nothing else you can do there. You got to keep it going and hope that you don't stick to that wall or get spit out to the inside, because, oh man, Lewandowski is loose.
Well,
just slid it off 4 again.
Looks like Robert Reynolds going for a slide into pit lane off of turn number 4 in car number 18. So now 2 cars being scored 1 lap down. 7 Crawford looks like he will be out of this race early on.
We're not out of caution for those 2 early incidents yet, so we're staying green, but it's still a long way to go. 63 laps now. 53 laps, excuse me.
Let's see. We'll cue this up here and get you a look from the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay of the incident here for Buckberger, Tracy Petter off of turn number 2. God, that is so ballsy.
He just stood in the gas. Yeah, see, he misses the entry, and he knows he just stood in the gas. Just stood in it because you let off, man. Buckberger's right there, and that's a chain reaction. Honestly, probably the smartest move to just tap the wall and keep it moving.
Let's take a little bit further deep in the field look here. Zach Skotnicki battling with Joe Gauthier. That's the battle for the 10th position. Another good fight just back of these guys. Going to be Zach Evans, DL Lemon. That's the fight for 13th and 14th. Right now, not a ton going on at the front of the field. Larry Pace still holding the lead over Brandon Buckberger by about 1/3 of a second. Knocking on wood here, but we talked about the possibility of cautions. We're almost halfway through this race. And only, gosh, what, about 12 minutes in or so? Man, that's a little dangerous there for Skotnicki. You get that car below the yellow line on corner exit, you're going for a wild ride down the straightaways.
Yeah, you got to really, if you really want to maximize your corner exit, you need to enter a little higher and exit a little lower.
Oh, we got graphics screwing up on us here. There we go.
A little technical difficulties there. We're back.
Let's see. Helps if we put the right one up here. Make sure it's the right one of the graphics. There we go. Cody Brooks checking in. A $5 super chat. Thank you very much, Cody. When I hear beer cans, I just start offering money. So there you go. We'll tack that one on to the Bizzle Beer Fund. Ray B also checking in, saying good luck TWR. Appreciate the comments there, everybody who's tuning in on YouTube. Man, good fight. Just back here. This is DL Lemon and Zach Evans fighting for the 13th position.
Oh, Zach Evans. Wow. Way down there.
That's getting after it. That's actually almost loose on corner exit, where the car just wants to keep rotating.
You saw how loose DL was up on that high side, too. Just, man, you got to be loose to keep it turning, but you get too loose and you keep turning, and it's a tough track, man. It's a tough track and a tough car.
Let's take a look here and show you your hard chargers of the race thus far. Joe Gauthier, well, he was up 5 positions, then up 4. We'll reset the graphic here. Kenneth Garrell up 4, Joe Gauthier up 4, Mitch Drevnovsky, Steven Protzman up 3 apiece, Brandon Buckberger up 2. Not a ton of position change here at the Rockin'. Quite frankly, I would say not wholly unexpected. It looks wide, it looks inviting. This is a tough place to get a pass completed at, though.
Yeah, we talk about that high line. This is a weird car. You know, the lines you see in other cars, they don't apply here. So you see Derek Love trying to work that high line, and you see how much trouble he's having there. It's tough to work that high line. You really got to get a good run off. And if someone's hooked up on the bottom, that top line is not really doing anything for you.
Yeah, you're not going to move a ton.
Tough.
And the short way around here is definitely the fastest way around. But ultimately, it also comes down to how bad you're going to be fighting the car handling-wise. You see it there out of D-Love. You catch that bump exiting turn 4, and it just wants to pitch the right rear of the car around. Tough spot there.
You know,
Go ahead.
But when you're getting on power and you're getting bumpy like that, you know, when you're in that weight transfer zone where the weight's moving in the car, it's unstable, and then you get a bump to add to that while you're turning still. It's so hard.
And now things are going to get tough for the race leaders. They have a pack of 4 lap cars just up ahead of them. That's going to be, actually, I think, might be, let's see, looks like, I'm trying to see.
It looks like Aldridge,
scoring who's this going to be, yeah.
Malugani, Lemon. I mean, that's a big pack of cars, and they're battling too. So, Brandon Buckberger, he's licking his chops. He knows this is a great opportunity to get Larry Pace stuck behind one of these lap cars and make up some time. And not going to happen there.
No, that's one of the things
hard to pack, so.
Well, that's one of the things about the Silver Crown Cup is these guys are. This is truly an official series that runs like a league. It's a tight, close-knit group of people, all active on the forums. They're active in the various Discord channels and Discord servers, I should say. That really leads to I'm not going to give you a crazy hard time as a lap car. I mean, there you saw him even coming around DL Lemon pretty easy. I think Brandon Buckberger's hoping it might be a little bit more difficult, but might not be the case here.
Yeah. Well, we heard talk about this with Van Gisbergen at the Chicago race, right? He said, I don't got to race these guys next week, but, you know, I can make moves, and I don't have to worry about seeing them next week. These guys got to see each other every week. Unless you want to just, you know, quit running. If you want to keep running, you're going to have to see the same people every week, and people got long memories.
Yeah, I was going to say, there has been some bad blood in the past with several drivers, and it has carried over from season to season. Not seeing as much of that this season in the Silver Crown Cup, but ultimately this race has been a pretty darn good one thus far as they clear the lap traffic and Larry Pace able to open up the gap to, in about a third of a second here. We'll slide back, pick up James Watson and Josh Batista battling for the 8th position, catching up to some lap traffic here. Batista going to try to work the outside into one, not going to be there. He slots back in line.
He got a huge runoff corner exit. Yeah, he's getting a massive runoff corner exit on Watson. I don't. You see, he's look at this.
It's almost
Watson's
like Watson has to. Yeah, Watson has to check up to not get into the lap car, and Batista is able to just work his regular line. You just back the corner up a little bit, and that's going to allow you to get the great run on corner exit.
Well, Watson's praying for a caution right now. I can tell you that. I think he saw those leaders and he said, you know, once you get 5-6 seconds ahead of behind somebody, you just go, all right, I'm going to save my tires and wait for a caution. That's what he's trying to do, and he doesn't want to let Josh Batista buy him. But
I'll tell you what, they're not that far ahead of the race leaders either. These guys, Watson and Batista, running about 17 and change seconds back of the leaders, turning 21 point. Oh,
there goes Batista.
Wreck for Batista. Caution is out. He's upside down the front stretch.
That is a long wreck. He wrecked from turn 4 across the start-finish line. And he's rolling again.
Yeah, he got... Again, we're going to keep the foot in it. Let's take a look here at the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay. See what happened to Josh Batista off of
he's
turn
trying to get that
4.
run off the outside, and it just catches the wall. And wow, look at this slide. What is that, 100 yards? 150 yards?
It was a long time.
I mean, he slid for a while.
I'll tell you what, though, showing the durability of those Rheem water heaters. Is Josh Batista able to stay out on the racetrack?
Well, I don't know that I would stay out here. I would probably try and jump in and see if I could grab some repairs.
Well, yeah.
You don't want to take any fuel, really, because that's just going to slow you down. You can't take tires because this is a one-tire set series. You start and you finish on the same set of tires.
That's exactly it.
I mean, if
the car feels good. Well, let's see. We got the close-up view here. The tires kind
I
of
mean, they
look
look good.
square. Yeah, he did some damage to the front bodywork. That's all beat to hell. But
It's not. I don't know that that's that big of a deal. Oh, here he comes. I think he's dropping down pit lane.
yep, looks like we will see Josh Batista on pit lane this time.
This is setting up
ride.
that what 27 lap sprint, right? We're gonna go green in a couple laps here.
Yeah,
We're setting up
actually, let's flip the graphics over. We'll show you the laps to go here, and yeah, it'll be down to 28 laps or so to go when they come back for a green flag. Yeah, 27, I guess the number will be, as the lights are still on the iRacing safety car.
If you're Derek Love, this is what you wanted. You're Mitch Drevnowski. This is what you wanted, right? You wanted something to bring these leaders back to you, give you a chance to cool these tires off. Because now all these guys have got that experience now. They know what it's like to really, really push around here. Because you never know what it's really like until you get in a race. There's something about a race that just feels different than the practice. And it's going to be interesting to say. You can see Tracy Petter right there with that jacked up front end. You know, I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be a fun 30 laps because all that fighting we saw, now they all got bad tires.
That's exactly it. Everybody is fighting the junk at this point. As there you see the damage on the right front corner of Tracy Petter's car.
You know, Petter's got damage. We saw Lewandowski was sliding that car. You know, those are two of the guys we usually see being really strong in this series. The Pace and Buckberger look like the two fastest cars, but with this caution, you know, if Petter's aggressive on restarts, I've seen it time and time again. He gets a restart and he knows that this is his best chance to make up spots quick, and he takes it. And the lights are out, so we're going green this time with 27 to go.
Yep, Field's gotten the one to go signal at the start-finish line. It'll be 27 laps to go, as Ben mentioned. And single file restarts here in the Silver Crown Cup. So they're going to start hugging the outside wall, basically at the exit of turn 4. Now, you don't have to really run up crazy high at this point, only because there's just no way you're getting a pass made outside. Pace car
No,
just
you just
now.
want to make sure that nobody can jump you.
Pace car makes that hard left-hand turn. It's a good start for Pace.
Yeah, he needed that. He needs to get through this corner smooth and easy. Ooh, Petter. Petter is moving.
Right there on the back end of Brandon Buckberger as they head down the backstretch. Lewandowski going to be there as well. Oh, man.
Whoa!
Big checkup for Petter entering turn 3.
And Lewandowski get a run. He's wiggling. I don't know that he got the run he needed. He's to the outside, but he's going to lose it around this corner. Here comes Drevnowski. Derek Love right there.
Mitch Drevnowski carrying the number 2 here tonight. Second highest I-rated driver in the field. 76.91. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers over 7,000 I rating. And all of them are inside the top 6.
And all of them are slipping and sliding around this track. This is a show right here.
I'll tell you what, the gap was 0.4 of a second for the race leader, and it is closing pretty quickly. Oh, buddy, hold on to it. Wow, nice save again.
Crossover move.
For Lewandowski.
A save into a crossover.
Yeah, you don't hear that often.
That's why he was in the World Championship here a little while back. He's talented. I think Derek Love is just waiting.
You love trying to be patient. Has to tuck back in line to make the proper, I'll say, corner entry into turn number 1. The gap still standing pat, right about 0.3 of a second between Larry Pace and Brandon Buckberger. That's the battle for the race lead. Big gap on both sides. Tracy Petter in 3rd. And here you have the fight. Lewandowski, Drevnowski, Love, Gurrell, Watson battling back through the 8th position. 3rd Joe Gauthier on that one as well. Already a 4-second gap to Zach Scott-Nicky and 19 seconds to Richard Malagani. They're going to catch lap traffic. In fact, Malagati just now going a lap down, so only 10 cars remain on the lead lap here.
Buckberger is closing quick. He has cut that lead down to just a 1/10 of a second. He is right there. Look at that.
Less than half a car length separating Buckberger from Pace.
And he's right there. That is nothing.
You talk about not having to face these guys week in and week out. Larry Pace is not a guy we see here every week. And Brandon Buckberger is hungry for a win. He wants that monkey off his back in a very big way. Looks like Drevnovsky may have bounced off the safer barrier exiting too.
Yeah, 20 to go. We're pushing hard now. Just stop. We're getting to the point right here. A couple more laps, they're going to throw those tires completely out the window and go for it.
And the crazy thing is the gap to third place Tracy Petter is actually expanding. Was 1.2, now 1.3 seconds separating the top two. They're fighting hard and gaining ground on third. That's another one. You just don't see that.
Yeah, that shows you that those are two really well set up race cars. And those two drivers are pushing. They are just flying right now.
Another good battle, a little bit deeper in the pack. It's Derek Love, Kenneth Gurrell, Mitch Drevnovsky. Let's slide back here and pick this train up off of turn 4. Drevnovsky, the car leading that group. D-Love just one spot back, followed by Gurrell and Watson, all 4 cars. Within about we'll call it about 2/3 of a second as they exit turn 2.
It's a really good run for Gurrell. He's been very steady, and he's making up a lot of time and just plugging away. I see that as he hits that bump, you can see him jump up a lane. It just has a very visible effect. Hit that bump, and you gotta readjust. Ugh. Get flashbacks to last night's practice sessions. Ooh, Mitch went a little high there. You gotta save it, walk it up. Here comes Derek.
Love will be
Can you get the
inside
move done into 1?
into turn 1. Drevnovsky just has to fall back in line, live to fight another day. Man, he got a great run off the corner.
Here he goes.
Oh, that was tight entering 3. Still tight off of 4.
D-Love's really got to maximize that corner exit on the top there. That's what you got on the top. You got to get your... Whoa, he's squeezing him hard.
Phrasing.
Yeah.
They'll stay side by side. I'll tell you what, the other smart drive I'm seeing here is Brandon Buckberger. Fight a little bit, you get the tires hot, you back it down. Don't let the leader get away, but let your tires cool off a little bit, and then you get to come back and fight again a couple of laps later. That's exactly what we're seeing here. The gap was up to almost 0.3 of a second. Buckberger able to claw his way back. His pace slides wide off of 4. Buckberger not going to be close enough to capitalize.
I think Brandon knows he's got a fast car. He knows it. He's just hanging back. He's biding his time. Let Pace push himself. Let him wear those tires out, and you capitalize.
Oh. Love and Drevnovsky still doing battle into 3. They were banging wheels off at 2.
Here comes Gurrell. He's looking. That's the thing. When you go side by side here, you're just inviting other people to come join the party, and Kenneth Gurrell is right there.
Yeah, even James Watson, you can see fighting an ill-handling race car off of 2. He's not losing any ground because these guys are battling so hard. As Pace and Buckberger continue their fight at about 0.2 of a second or so at the front of the field. So we'll keep things here in this 4-car battle as we are down to 10 laps to go.
See, Buckberger's backed off to about 0.2. Petter 2 seconds behind Buckberger. Those front 2 have run away. The gap back to 3rd. Look at, and there's Petter. Look at that.
Big gap. Back to Tracy Petter running 3rd. Pace and Buckberger going to continue their battle here at the front. It'll be 8 laps to go. The gap holding pretty consistently, right about 0.25 of a second now. Call it 4 car lengths as they exit turn 2.
I don't think they'll have any issues with this lap guard. Yeah, he's jumping high and checking up, staying out of the way. 8 laps to go. I think if you're Buckberger, you start reeling pace back in, and you start getting ready to make that move. This is when you get yourself in position, and you set the move up.
That was just what I was about to say. Sometimes you have to make that pass 2 or 3 laps before you actually make it. And that may be what we're seeing here out of Brandon Buckberger, because you don't want to pass the guy with 5 to go. That gives them too many chances to come and get you back. You want to make that move with 2 or 3 laps to go, and then you're forcing Larry Pace into making a mistake. Again, big wiggle for Buckberger off of 4.
He's so loose coming off of 4. He wiggled last lap. He wiggled this one too. He's dropping a little bit the pace. I think those tires are starting to go a little bit.
One thing I will say about Larry Pace, he looks so incredibly smooth. Spot perfect on the lines almost every lap. The car not doing a lot of twitching and bouncing around on corner exit. Just a fantastic drive. And it looks like that may be James Watson just up ahead. Zach Scott Nicky will be the next car to go a lap down, followed by Joe Gauthier. That's about, let's see, Scott Nicky about 19 seconds back of the race leaders.
Oh, so he's about, there he is. I can see him just out of frame. He's the blue car you're looking for. I don't think they're going to catch Scott Nicky. We're coming to 2 to go. Oh, Buckberger's getting closer. Just dropped it within 2/10. He was so good coming out of 4 throughout this last run we had. He was just picking up time. Yeah, look at that. He's just pushing so hard.
Hits that bump, and the car just wants to shoot up the racetrack. As the white flag is out, we are down to 1 lap to go here at the Rock. Cleanly off of turn number 2.
Oh.
Is Larry Pace. Buckberger catches the lap traffic at the absolute worst time, but I don't know that it would have mattered. Off at turn number 4, twin checkers in the air, and Larry Pace claims the win at Rockingham. Brandon Buckberger will come home second. Great recovery drive for Tracy Petter. He'll come home third.
Great drive by Larry Pace. He really withstood a ton of pressure from Buckberger. He kept it smooth and calm the whole way. That was very impressive stuff.
Yeah, that was incredibly impressive from Larry Pace. I don't know that we're going to be able to talk to him in Victory Lane.
I don't think so, unfortunately.
Yeah, we don't see him here in the Discord, but we'll see who else we have that we can talk to here. Let's see, we can get Mr. Buckberger up into the waiting room. Also, let's see, waiting to see if Tracy Petter will pop in as well. But while we wait for that, we'll pick up the we'll get the instant replay cams ready to go here. And let's see. Well, let's bring up our runner-up finisher tonight here. First time in a little bit we've gotten to talk to you, brother, but I'll tell you what, Brandon, that was a great drive to second place. You were absolutely hounding Larry almost this entire race.
Yeah, I'm sweating from that one. Qualified well, so I knew that was going to be a good race car for me tonight, because it's always the case. And I didn't get to qualify back with the boneheads and get in trouble like I have been the last seems like 6-7 weeks here. So it's just good to have a good finish.
Yeah, I mean, talk us through it, because this place seemed like it was incredibly difficult to turn a quick lap around. Whether it was the bumps off of turn 4, having to be inch perfect with the lines through 1 and 2, there was a lot going on behind the wheel of that race car tonight.
Yeah, this place is treacherous. It's real. It's bumpy, but I got a setup that I can just glide over the bumps, and I can. This track also suits my style. You just kind of let off early. You let the car set, and I can hammer it off the corner. And these are the type of tracks that I'm really good at, and I can get in the throttle, hang on the bottom, and I could just slide that right off the corner and just drive it. I was so much better than Larry off of 4, but I just couldn't do anything after that yellow. It screwed me up, and then was trying to make a run that last lap, but another bonehead lap car got in the way at the end.
Yeah, sometimes you'll get those things that'll happen here. But, man, I'll tell you what, great run tonight. Congratulations on putting that car up on the podium. And before we let you go, make sure you get any of the sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
Yeah, it was a good run. No real sponsorship. I just left the National Racing Network Driven to Save Lives scheme on it for a thank you for sponsoring. Last season, I really did not give a good performance last season. I really wanted to get this car in victory lane for those guys, but I guess I'll keep it on the. I guess I'll keep that paint scheme for another couple of weeks and try to get a win here, and try to avoid the bonehead some more.
Well, good run tonight, brother. Thank you very much. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us here. And look at this. We do have a race winner that we can talk to. Let's bring him up into the booth with us, and we'll talk to race winner Larry Pace. And, man, I'll tell you what, Larry, that wasn't easy by any stretch of the imagination.
No, it wasn't, but it was sure fun. That's for sure. I was eyes in the mirror like half of that race looking at Brandon. It looked like he was a little better than me for the majority of that race. He was getting into 3 a little better, getting through 3 a little better, and I wasn't sure if he had a little less fuel or something, if I was a little heavy. And then about 15 to go or so, I started driving a little harder and using brake a little differently to try to match what he was doing, and it worked. And around that time, the setup came in really good for me too. So worked out pretty good in the end.
Yeah, it seemed like it was one of those nights where if you weren't fighting the bumps or fighting somebody for position, lap traffic was always a bit of a concern as well. It seems like there's just a ton going on behind the wheel of these cars here at the Rock.
It is a handful. Luckily, I love this racetrack and have raced it a lot, so I know where the bumps are coming. I know what to expect, so it's probably a little easier than than maybe someone who's not used to running the Rock, because those bumps, man, you just go surfing off of 3 and 4. Like, it's just, you start hitting those and skipping over the bumps, and it'll kick you sideways if you're a little too low. It'll get you tight if you're a little too high. As long as you can get through there smooth, a little bit of throttle control, you're way ahead.
Well, great run for you tonight. Congratulations on picking up the SOF win here in the Silver Crowns. And before we let you go, make sure you do any of the sponsor plugs and thank yous you have.
Oh, for sure. Well, massive thank you to Thomas Lewandowski. He always kind of nudges me when a track I like comes up on the Silver Crown schedule, and I'll hop in here. So always fun running with Tom. So just massive thanks to him, and thanks to you guys for streaming these. It's really cool to see official races get streamed.
Buddy, well, thank you much. We appreciate the kind words from you here. And, man, I'll tell you what, man, we got not the show I thought we were going to get, quite frankly. There was so many incidents and issues in practice, and they just did not materialize. This was a really good show out of the Silver Crown cars here tonight.
Yeah, apart from Batista's little slide, I think it was pretty clean. We didn't see any multi-car crashes. We didn't see anybody slide out and knock somebody into the wall going for position. There was a lot of really talented and hard racing, but these guys kept it very clean, and I'm impressed that there were no little accidental bumps. So just that's the kind of racing where you look at it and you say, yeah, those guys, they were fast. They were good. Like, the racing was good. It's one thing to be fast, and it's another thing to race well, and I think you saw all of it tonight.
Yes, we did. We got a fantastic show out of the Silver Crown Cup guys here from the Rock. No Sim Racers Club this week. They are taking the off week. We'll be back with them next Wednesday night at 9 p.m. in the East. However, this Thursday, we will be back with the U.S. Open Wheel doubleheader. Round number 4 of that championship coming up here this Thursday night. I'll be joined in the booth by Mr. James Watson, and hopefully the Bizzler, Patrick Byrne, will be back with us for that one as well. Ben, thank you very much for stepping in here on short notice. I appreciate that. That way I wasn't talking to myself for 80 laps of droning on and on. And with that, time for us to get the heck on out of here. For Ben and everybody here at the National Racing Network that makes these shows happen, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will talk to you all soon. Have a great night, everybody.